CBC to investigate their coach's claims of selection interference.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News. A tearful send-off for 3 young women from St. Philip who died in a car crash just over 2 weeks ago. Hundreds of friends and relatives turned up at the Garfield Sobers complex for the service of Thanksgiving for Shakira Shepherd, Shamika Shepherd and Waveney Johnson, all in their 20s, who died tragically on October 25th. Peter Thorne has that story.
Inseparable in life and inseparable in death. 3 young ladies in their 20s, all from St. Philip, Shakira Shepherd, Shamika Shepherd and Waveney Johnson, who were best friends and sisters in every sense of the word, whose lives ended tragically on Sunday, October 25, 2015. And hundreds gathered at the Garfield Sobers complex to say a tearful goodbye. Shamika's godmother, Joylyn Clark, told the audience the young women have graduated to a higher calling.
These beautiful young ladies, they were no giddy-head young ladies, young girls. They saw beyond their eyesight. They all wanted to contribute to society. And it's very sad that they weren't able to graduate from their respective courses. But rest assured that they have graduated into the loving arms of Almighty God.
Dr. Wendy Ward said Shamika loved life and lived it to the fullest, noting that she lived on in our memories.
Shamika had a maturity which belied her age. She had an opinion on everything. Hasina referred to her as Miss Know-It-All. She not only took advice, but she also gave advice and scoldings when warranted. We admired how straightforward she would be. She would tell you as it was, and if your behavior impacted her negatively in any way, you will be sure to hear about it in no uncertain terms.
Talitha Ford read a tribute from Waveney Johnson's brother, who described her as a wonderful sister.
Waveney was the best sister anyone could ask for. She was always looking out for my best interest. Even though it didn't always seem that way to me, I later understood why she did and said the things she did.
Michelle Medford Robinson said Shakira was a caring, loving young woman whose smile and laughter would always be remembered.
Shakira was a very fun-loving, bright, caring, inquisitive child. Let me not forget to add, Shakira sometimes exhibited a stubbornness that I could only compare to that of a mule. I don't believe she even bothered to think what the consequences may be. If she didn't want to do something, it was very, very hard to get her to move from that position. I think you may call such children strong-willed.
Attorney General Adriel Braffett exhorted relatives and friends to trust in God.
Put your trust in God. Put your trust in each other. We will accept that in time to come, we will see our sisters, your friend, your cousin, whatever the relationship, but you will not have that day unless you trust in God.
Transport Minister Michael Ashley told Barbadians to take comfort in the great Creator, saying he was saddened the young women couldn't fulfill their dreams on earth.
It is painful as a nation when we lose our young, productive minds and persons who directly and indirectly touch our lives. To the parents, family, and friends, I share my sympathy, and I extend my support for the days, weeks, and months ahead as we try to come to grips with this difficult period.
Senior pastor with Restoration Ministries, Senator Reverend Dr. David Durant, said life is but a step away from death, warning that Barbados is in danger of raising a generation that doesn't know God.
We are raising a generation that does not know the Lord. It's time that our youths turn back to God. Too many young people are dying in our nation. We need a change. A generation that does not know the Lord is emerging.
The young women were buried at Bushy Park Cemetery. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Well, Barbados has lost one of its NGO champions who has dedicated years of service to the development of the non-governmental sector. Roosevelt King passed away yesterday. King, affectionately known as Ty, was the Secretary General and CEO of the Barbados Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, or BANGO. Earlier in his life, he was the head of the Kensington Vendors Association. Tributes and condolences have been pouring in from across Barbados. Government advisor on social policy Hamilton Lashley remembers working with Mr. King during his early years in politics, and he says that Mr. King always had the NGO sector at heart.
He spent most of his time, even with 24, if there was 24, and there is 24 hours in one day, Ty would be fighting almost 24 hours except for sleeping hours, which he seldom slept, for the pursuing the cause of the independence, true independence of the NGO movement, not only in Barbados, but throughout the region. He was the head of BANGO, and through his networking and association with numerous NGOs throughout the region, Ty was able to bring a measure of respectability to the NGO movement and the community-based organizations in the region.
Well, coming up after the break, Latin American students to pursue studies at the UWI Cayfield campus. Before we get to that and other stories, we want to hear from you on this question. Should the Cayfield campus put more emphasis on attracting foreign students to help boost its revenues? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you by the end of our news.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply today. Call 426-7000 or visit your nearest branch. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
What's this, you ask? Oh, it's just spreadsheet smashing, hedge trimming, dog walking, weekend awaying, show boating, gravity defying, tree chopping, glucose, technology, energy fueling, barbecuing, glucose refueling, engine revving, crowd surfing, home commuting, crocodile wrestling, explosion ignoring, awesome kind of energy. Whatever you do it with energy.
Is for me, NIFA is for you. NIFA is for all majors to show what they can do. NIFA belongs to me. NIFA belongs to me.
The University of the West Indies is expanding its programs to cater to Latin American students. The students will be enrolled in a Teach English Caribbean program. Principal and Pro-Vice Chancellor of the UWI Cayfield campus, Professor Eugene Barato, held a welcome ceremony for 150 Ecuadorian students. The program runs for 7 months.
The teacher training project being launched today aims to prepare Ecuadorian scholars to have a more positive influence on your education system and hence enable citizens in your country to become even more competitive at the local, national, and international level.
Professor Barato also announced that there will be other programs targeting students who want to be proficient in the English language. And she adds, as these programs attract more students, revenue for the university will increase.
We are seeking new ways to earn revenue. So this is one of all of these programs have to be self-funding. The campus makes an initial investment, but we already have the classrooms, we have the instructors, and the students come here and we work out a funding model where they pay for this program. So the program is very attractive to us. It enables us to earn revenue. It enables us to showcase the skills and talents of the staff at the Cable campus, and we become more deeply immersed in the economies and the educational system, in this case in Latin America.
A 14-year-old schoolgirl charged with stabbing a schoolboy yesterday on board a transport board bus has been remanded to the Girls Industrial School in St. Philip. And this is according to Police Public Relations Officer Acting Assistant Superintendent David Welch. He says the teenager appeared in court today and was told to return next week. The young boy who was stabbed has since been treated and discharged from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Police say the boy was stabbed during an argument with what lawmen describe as an implement. The incident took place along the Ronald Map Highway in the area along Redmonds Village. Well, 50 flights, including one bound for Barbados, were delayed at Miami International Airport after 2 security checkpoints were closed over a suspicious bag.
Passengers ordered to put their hands on their heads. The terrifying security scare happened at Miami Airport after authorities say somehow a passenger boarded an American Airlines flight to Barbados with suspicious carry-on baggage.
Don't move.
The passenger in the red shirt was searched, then taken off the plane for questioning, and his carry-on bag confiscated. The security alert caused chaos at one of the world's busiest airports and infuriated travelers.
They can't even tell us if you're going to get where you're going to go.
It was total chaos. 50 flights were delayed. The airport terminal was locked down, with dozens of travelers actually imprisoned inside this TGI Fridays restaurant when the security gate came down. Nearby, police officers patrolled the terminal with M16 assault rifles.
It's kind of scary.
The downing of a Russian jet in Egypt by an ISIS bomb last week has made travelers and security staff especially jittery. And guess what? It turned out to be a complete false alarm. The passenger taken off the flight was completely innocent. He's a dentist. Dental equipment he was carrying triggered an alert that required a second screening. But through a miscommunication among TSA agents, he was allowed to board the jet without further checking. That's when the airport was shut down. He was not arrested.
Well, there is consensus among masqueraders, the Minister of Culture and other stakeholders that Barbadians need to be educated about the importance of the Crop Over Festival to the country. Minister Stephen Lashley says the festival has grown and he believes the true contribution of it to Barbados is more than the 100 million Barbados dollars estimated. He says efforts are on to measure the impact of the cultural sector as a whole.
We have just entered into an agreement with CBC of the University of the West Indies to do what we call a mapping exercise, which would give us a much more accurate measurement of the impact of the sector on the economy generally. So that would also trace and give us a more accurate measurement and a more updated measurement in terms of the impact of crop over.
Mr. Lashley was among a group of panelists during a live national consultation on crop over on CBC TV8's program The People's Business. Band leader of Power by Four and president of the Barbados Association of Masqueraders, Chetwynd Stewart, is of the view that since the 4-day morning jam is so large, there shouldn't be any other competing event on that same night.
I am not crying on the police. The police does a good job. The police tries. But the problem with the police is that, again, education. I don't think they understand the role of promoters. And a lot of times we are seen as people causing problems when we are people trying to make a living and bringing money into the economy, not causing problems. So when police will say, I've said in these minutes for years, 4-day morning, it's a lot of confusion. You're doing it with this event and we don't have enough police to police it and this, that, and next. But as somebody can come and do an event now with thousands of people on the same night, they could only get that permission if they got police, right? But it comes down again. All the police that went out there got paid.
Meantime, entertainer Mac Fingal is against the Radio Spring Garden concept. He says it's killing the mood on the highway.
When you're playing one song through the whole Spring Garden. Before, you used to have everybody playing their own music. Now, I suspect that you were trying to keep out with dub music. If you want to keep out with dub music, just get some dub police. You know what I mean? Listen, no, I'm serious. And as soon as you got a fella walking through and you give you authority, that he can shut down these people that playing dub music. Okay. And then they don't get a license to sell for next year also. That is a punishment. And let them understand that beforehand.
Well, Prayer Warriors International is on a mission to create 500 entrepreneurs to curb spiraling crime in Barbados. That group's founder, evangelist Courtney Solomon, explained opportunities will be provided through its We Are Our Neighbor program, and that's set to launch in February next year. The program includes the issuing of weed whackers to participants and hosting car washes. Mr. Solomon is seeking funding from Barbadians.
We're looking locally to raise funds too, but I've spoken to the Consul General in New York, and she invited me to a Barbados extravaganza, which is on the 21st of this month. So I'm going up to New York, for that extravaganza, and where I'll meet some of the 240 clubs and organizations in Barbados, business people in Barbados, to raise that the funds that we need.
Evangelist Solomon adds that Prayer Warriors International is hoping to roll out a 6-month religious knowledge program in communities as well.
I believe that it's the absence of law, God's law, as it were, in the hearts of people. Therefore, it promotes lawlessness. And a lawless person or angry person creates an angry person, violent person.
CIBC First Caribbean International Bank is making sure its staff is better prepared to deal with persons with disabilities. And this is the result of their partnership with the Barbados Council for the Disabled to create a sensitivity training workshop. Manager of Retail Banking Channels at First Caribbean, Paige Bryan, says the workshop is aimed mainly at the frontline staff of the bank.
This is to increase awareness for the special needs of our customers. So as you can appreciate, we would have a very demographic of customer. We would have those who are very able-bodied. Then we would also have the elderly, those who come in that are pregnant, those who come in with young toddlers, etc., and those who are disabled. So we want to be able to reach out to all of our customers, ensure that they get the type of service that is second to none.
And President of the Barbados Council for the Disabled, Maria Holder-Small, noted that CIBC First Caribbean is the first bank to undertake that training. She added that all businesses on the island should look to raise their customer service standards.
Anyone who walks through their door, whether it is a person with a disability or anyone, treat them as if they're the only customer on the island. So we are just sending that message out, just be kind. You know, I'm not saying that the disabled wants preferential treatment, and it is not just persons with disabilities. We have persons with pacemakers, we have persons with babies in arms, and the list goes on. We have amputees. So it is not just persons in wheelchairs that we're talking about.
Well, some more help for local university students. Unicommer Trading as Court has granted scholarships to 50 students to pursue degrees at the University of the West Indies. Managing Director Tricia Tanis says this has been made possible through the Court's Dare to Dream scholarship program.
The fund, which is open to citizens of Barbados, provides financial support to the cost of tuition to the value of $3,000 per person. The scholarship, which is awarded for 1 year, will be automatically renewed every year, for up to a total maximum of 3 years to complete your program in the Faculty of Social Sciences primarily.
Ms. Tanis says a response from applicants revealed the need for financial help to be provided to Barbadian citizens from members in the corporate sector. She is, however, concerned the number of male applicants were lower than those from females. She says a way must be created to attract the attention of young men to pursue academics.
I do think that we do need to look at a different way of engaging our males from primary education. I do think that they learn differently, they are engaged differently, and we have to look at a very a unique mechanism that captures their imagination, makes education exciting. We know it's serious, we know it takes discipline. But you're only going to discipline yourself towards a particular activity if you are excited or engaged about it in the first place. And I think that's where we need to look, particularly in the secondary system. We are losing them at 16, and I think a lot has to do with the foundation that we've laid as far as how we framed education for our boys.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across our region, but first we want to hear from you on this question. Should the Cave Hill campus put more emphasis on attracting foreign students to help boost its revenue? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results